This is Marty Stewart with SeminarSecrets.com. You can hear the complete version of this big seminar interview by going to www.seminarsecrets.com.
Again, there's a lot of people on this call. As you can hear, every one of those beeps, you're probably still hearing them right now. That's another person jumping onto this call right now. So this is a jam-packed call. We have over 400 people on this call right now. And tonight's call, as you know, is part of the Big Seminar Preview Series. Tonight's call is a special call with Frank Kern, and Frank's going to be talking all about Internet marketing, how you can succeed with your own long-term Internet marketing business. And we're going to grab a lot of information from Frank today. So I hope that you grab a pen, piece of paper, open up a notepad on your computer, start taking notes. Whatever you're going to do, take the notes, because there's a lot of information that's going to be shared here tonight that you're going to want to recall later on. So definitely take notes so you get the most out of these calls. Now, the next thing I want to talk about before we actually get into the call itself and the interview with Frank is the big seminar. Folks, let me tell you something. It's filling up quickly. You have less than 30 days to get your plane tickets, to get your room registered at the big seminar. We're having every day I'm calling up the hotel and extending the amount of rooms that we're getting, because we have people over and over again that are staying not only the day before, the day after, where they're coming out to play golf with us on this golf scramble that we're having. We know we're getting more and more rooms. In fact, there's 600 rooms in this hotel. We have the majority of the rooms for that whole weekend. Every place you're going to turn around, everyone's going to be at you're going to see someone with a big seminar name tag. So in order to stay at the hotel, you need to get registered for your seat today. So after this call with Frank, what I want you to do is actually just go to the site, click on the button, click on the link that the person sent you from, and actually just register your seat for the seminar today, because it's very important. If you're planning on coming, today's the best time to actually get your seat, and also best time to get your airfare for the seminar in San Francisco. We have a deal worked out with American Airlines that we can get you discounts on your airfare. We have a deal worked out with Alamo Rent-A-Car. You can get your discount on your rental car. But you know what? You don't even need the rental car, because we're exactly 1 mile from the actual airport, and you can take a shuttle right over. But we're going to have a lot of great fun there. There's going to be 13 speakers. I'll tell you more about that later. But right now I'd like to get the call started and welcome Frank Kern to the call. So, Frank, welcome to the call tonight.
Hey, thanks, Armand. It's great to be here. It's nice of everyone to show up, and I'm really looking forward to San Francisco. I honeymooned there, as a matter of fact.
Really? You know, San Francisco, I've never been there before.
This will be my third trip, and, man, it's just so much fun. The eating is great out there. So much good food. Everybody's really nice. It's really beautiful. It's going to be nice and cool this time of year, or rather when we go over there in August. So it's going to be a great trip. I hope to see a lot of people out there.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to I wanted to ride a trolley car.
Well, I think you'll find one or two in the area.
So, well, Frank, you know, there's a lot of things that people want to know about you, and you know, I always start these calls off with some very, very simple questions. And the first one is you know, how did you get started online, and basically, what's your story?
Well, I started out in business. I had a lot of different offline businesses, which I almost effortlessly ran into the ground quickly at that. And the last offline business I had was one where I would go door to door and sell credit card machines to various businesses.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, I hated going door to door. I live here in Macon, Georgia, and that's where the business was run, was here in Macon. And if anyone's ever been here, they could tell you it's really, really hot. So I would be out in the summer going door to door outside wearing a suit, you know, because I had to look all professional, calling on businesses, and I would just be sweating so bad. And I said, gosh, you know, there's got to be a better way to generate customers for this business than to go door to door and get beat up on every day. So I started looking around on the Internet, and I started to try to figure out maybe if I could sell these credit card machines over the Internet. And from surfing around, I discovered Corey Rudel's course. Like probably everybody on this call has Corey's course. It's a good course. I enjoyed it. And when I read that, it really gave me a total shift in my thinking in terms of what I wanted to do and how I would go about marketing. So I decided that maybe I would try to market my credit card machine business on the Internet. So of all of the chapters and all of the wisdom that Corey's course contained, I only paid attention to the one little paragraph he had in there about bulk email. And this was like 1998 when I read the course. So this was way before bulk email was considered akin to murdering your neighbor or something. It was only slightly bad then. So I ignored all of his good advice and went straight into sending bulk email. And I spent years perfecting the art of sending unsolicited bulk email to people who had no desire at all to receive it. And that really didn't work very well at all. I managed to break even, I guess, for a few years up until August of 2001. And at that point, I was ready to quit Internet marketing entirely. I was sending out lots of spam, and I was trying to generate leads for credit card stuff, or I would try to sell these CD-ROMs with reprint rights that I'm sure everybody's seen. I pretty much sell all the same stuff everyone else has tried to sell when they first started, and it wasn't working. So I decided to become a realtor. And I went to the real estate class to get my license, and the class was so unbelievably slow and tedious and boring that I sat in there and started to brainstorm. How can I make this Internet thing work? I really want to do it. You know, the thought of being out there in the real job market was just appalling to me. And then it hit me. I remembered paying attention to the responses I would get from the people I tried to sell stuff to, and they all told me that they wanted a business where they could start it relatively inexpensively and one that would be pretty much 99% turnkey, where they didn't have to do much. And that's what gave me the idea for my very first winning product, which was called Instant Internet Empires. I should now call it the now infamous Instant Internet Empires. And that product really, really took off well, and it enabled me to springboard into doing a lot of different other products like Info Millionaire and Hot Responders and Cash Flow Circle, and then my various other niche marketing websites as well.
Well, it's really interesting. In fact, that would make a great headline is ex-spammer, makes good on the internet. But it's really interesting because, I have a very similar background because when I first got online, I did the same thing. I actually went and I got the program called Whale that was allowed to extract email addresses out of AOL. And I started sending, and then three internet accounts later, I started figuring out maybe this isn't the best way to go because I didn't have any more internet access. I kept getting shut down every couple of days.
Yeah, it's kind of like what part of spamming is bad do we not understand? But I think it's part of everyone's nature, or of a lot of people's nature, just to go ahead and give it a try. Well, I'm going to pull it off. I'm going to be that one guy where it works for me.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I own Hot Responders now, which is an autoresponder service, and it seems like every week I have to shut somebody's account off because, they're loading up their account with all these email addresses they got off of some CD. And I hate to do it to them, but this stuff just doesn't work, and it's not acceptable anymore, so I certainly wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think what many people don't understand is that, I think the problem with many people is when they get online, they see the availability to contact millions of people, and obviously an email is free to send. We don't know how long that's going to last, but for right now it is free to send. But the fact is that, there's those email ads, I think we've all received them, that say, if you send out 1 million emails, and if you just get a 10% response, and if your product only costs $20, you're going to become basically a millionaire overnight.
Yes, within seconds. With no real effort on your part.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And, and so it creates a false sense of hope, and as a new person getting online, you don't know any better, and so you go ahead and do it. And some people may experience a little bit of success, but certainly that's not the way to build a long-term business online, as we've all found out. So now, let me ask you this. What would be, to you, what was the one turning point that, say, took you from spammer to non-spammer online and made you realize that there, probably is a better way to actually make money on the net? Was it the first time? Was it when you put together your first product?
Well, it was a combination of things. It was from listening to the market. See, as beginning business people, and oftentimes as veteran business people, our mental conversation when we're developing a business or a business idea sounds something like this. It'll say, gosh, I need to think of a product that I can sell to people. And in reality, that's totally backwards. from the way it really should be. Instead, what we should be saying is, what are people telling me that they want, and how can I give them what they want? Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense. And in fact, if you could just say that again for everybody, because I think it's really important.
Okay, it's all about identifying the market first as opposed to identifying the product first. I'm fortunate enough right now to be able to consult with a lot of people. I have a nice coaching group that I work with one-on-one very closely, and that's very rewarding for me. And a lot of the folks I work with do the same thing that I did and sometimes, admittedly, still do, which is come up with a product idea and then say, okay, who am I going to sell this new whiz-bang thing to? And what happened to me when I first started was I got lucky enough to actually pay attention to all the marketing guys I was reading, and I said, what does my market want right now? And it turned out I was in the work-at-home market, and I was serving that market, and they wanted an inexpensive opportunity to set up their own website that sold something, so I gave them that. And I've always tried to follow that philosophy, which is just find a market first, find out what they want, and then develop a product based around those needs.
And, many people have stated that different ways, and that's exactly, I think, what the problem that most people do is that I've done it myself. I've created a product that, hey, I think that, I've even done it recently, heck, is that I think this product everybody would want, and it was my opinion, which really doesn't matter. Instead of just finding out where people were going or what people were looking for and just throwing myself in front of that already existing traffic. Now, you've done that, quite a few times with recently, especially with a few of your niche products, let's call them.
Yeah.
In fact, one was the most unlikely topic. I would have sat there all day and never guessed it, and that was teaching your parrot how to talk.
Yeah, it's it's funny. Right when I was logging on to this call, I got another order for one of those books. I have a website. It's called YourParrotWillTalk.com, spelled like it sounds. Parrot being the bird, not parent being the folks that raise us. And basically what I did was I was listening to some mail-order marketing seminar tapes. I believe it was a Jeff Paul or a Dan Kennedy seminar from the 80s or early 90s. And they had this student in there that said that he was doing really well serving the parrot lover market. So I decided to snoop around a little bit online and see if a lot of people were looking for information about parrots. And I discovered that about 70,000 people every month were searching for the word parrot on Overture.com. So I browsed around their news groups a little bit, and it seemed that their main concerns were teaching their parrot how to talk and then the health of the parrot. But the overall main concern or main interest was the talking bit. The health part was a little bit smaller. So all I did was I went to elance.com and I hired somebody to write the book for me. I don't know anything about parrots at all. I don't really dislike them, but I don't really like them either. You know what I mean? I'm not very passionate about parrots. But I had that site, I had that product made. It cost me $650. The person who made it is a contributing editor to Bird Talk magazine, so they've got the credentials. It's a real product. It's not some thrown together thing by, some guy in his basement. And I'm selling on average about 2 copies of it every day, which isn't really breaking the bank. But when you duplicate a website like that with a lot of different little niche products, you can actually develop quite a fortune of relatively hands-free income.
Now, the one thing I noticed, and I'm on the site right now, is that it's a basic direct response website.
As they all should be, in my opinion.
Exactly. I mean, you have the classic elements, and again, if those of you that can't see the website right now, I mean, I'll tell you exactly what it is. It has, again, it's basically a big sales letter, which you've heard many people tell you again and again that that's the best way to sell a product online. And the headline says, announcing a jaw-dropping training secret that will have your parrot talking up a storm in 30 days or less, guaranteed. And again, if I'm looking to have my parrot talk, that's going to appeal to me. And then it's a whole sales letter, and then at the end he asks people to order the product. He has the guarantee there as well, and then a few links to actually order the product. And when you order it, it goes through Frank's ClickBank account. And so it's a very simple site, obviously not very complicated. So let's go back and just so people understand the process of what you just did.
Okay.
You first went and you went to Overture. You had the concept of the parrot already. So you first to see if there was any traffic for this particular topic. So
yeah, that's the first thing I did. I didn't think to myself, I want to make a book about parrots talking. Let's see if anybody wants it. I just said, hey, let's see if anyone out there is into parrots on the Internet. So I used a little program, and I used a program called Good Keywords, and it's free, believe it or not. I can't believe these guys give this thing away, but I'm so glad they do. You can get it at goodkeywords.com, and it's this little program that you can download, and you type in a word and click go, and it'll tell you how many times people searched for it last month on Overture. So I used that thing, and it told me at the time I think there was 80,000 people searching for parrots every month. I think maybe last month it was 70,000, but it tends to stick in that general area. So I said, that's not a ton of people, but that's a tight little market, and the people who are into parrots are really, really into parrots, and that traffic is going to be very, very targeted. So I decided to get the product made, and it's been a success. And again, not a groundbreaking success, but successful nonetheless, and I call it free money. It actually makes enough money every month to pay for my M3 and my X5, which is a pair of silver BMWs I have in my driveway right now.
and that's really good. I mean, like you said, the key is not just that one product where you're going to create one product and break the bank. What you're looking for is you're looking for a series of products possibly that will actually do the same thing over and over for you again. So it's not the power of just one, it's the power of everything that you're doing in combination together.
Absolutely. It's kind of like if we're playing baseball. If you go up and you try to swing the bat super hard and hit a home run every time, you're really going to wear yourself out, But if you just get on base, have a good time, relax, hit some baseline, hits out there, you're going to be doing pretty good all the time. And I feel the same way about business. Well, sure, it's great to hit a home run every now and again. I've hit several in my career, but it's these little base hits that really keep you going. I was doing some math the other day, and I decided that I wanted to totally refocus my entire Internet business model. I wanted to leave teaching Internet marketing forever and simply do Internet marketing because I enjoy this niche marketing so much. What people don't tend to realize is that when you have a little product like this parrot product, you have practically zero customer service work to do. So it's almost 100% hands-off. I might have had maybe 5 customer service issues ever when in the past, it's almost been a year since I launched the Parrot site. So you can imagine how nice that is. So I was doing some math, and I said, okay, I want to make a little more than $1 million a year on the Internet, and I don't really want to work that hard. I just want to have a bunch of these little Parrot sites. Now, my Parrot book sells for $37.77. I decided that, and it sells 2 copies per day on average, sometimes more, sometimes less, but we'll say about 2 per day. I decided and realized after getting a handy calculator out that if I made only 50 sites that were underachievers, just like my Parrot site, I would make $1.2 million a year hands-free after ClickBank took out their merchant fees.
Now, in my book, that's not shabby.
No, it's not shabby. And granted, 50 sites are a lot, but we're talking about 50 dumb little sites like this Parrot thing that only make 2 sales a day.
Well, the thing is, though, is that I think what people need to understand is that this Parrot site, again, other than writing the ad copy and setting up the payment to take the way to take payments through ClickBank, someone else did the majority of the work.
Yeah.
You paid someone else to do it. So it's not like it took a lot of your time to do.
Mm-mm.
And then I'm sure once you you tested the sales letter, probably made a few changes on the sales letter to find out what was converting and what wasn't.
Yep.
And other than that, you tapped it on its butt and put it out there to the marketplace.
Yeah, and I think that's the way to go. So many of us, and I'm just as guilty as anybody else, I'm certainly not trying to point fingers, but so many of us, when we get introduced to Internet marketing, because of the way we're brought into the field, we tend to think that the only real way to make money out.
You have just listened to a portion of this BigSeminar interview. To get the complete version, simply go to www.seminarsecrets.com. Find out how you can attend the next Internet Marketing Big Seminar. And for a very special offer you can't refuse, visit www.seminarsecrets.com.